Welcome to the Transformers Prime, Optimus Prime Voyager class review. This is not the first edition, but this is the mass release that's available at UK retail. Picked this up at Argos the other day. Packaging is therefore different to the Prime first edition, but also the mould itself is a different product entirely. First thing you'll notice is the forearms are clear blue plastic, the same as the windows. Also on the side of the windows, it's not got those hinges that the other Voyager class has got. This has actually got the wing mirrors, so it looks a lot better in my opinion. Packaging's got a try-me window for like a mech tech weapon. On the side we've got the usual multilingual stuff for all the different languages in Europe, and there you can actually see the Argos sticker. On the back is the heavily photoshopped image of the product, totally over the top photoshopping there, and then a nice piece of artwork on the side with, again, don't eat this written in different languages. Okay, so let's have a look at him outside of the box. So here we have him in robot mode. As you can see, fairly good sized figure. Very good representation of the show version of the character. Nice colouring. One of the major problems though is the actual silhouette is ruined a little bit by his backpack, which is sticking out. I mean, it could be closed up a little bit there from where it is, but still pretty much of a flaw. The weapon, as you can see, I've locked in to his shoulder pad here. It's not really meant to do that, but you can do, but just a slight knock and it will flick closed again. It's not actually anything that will stay open like you could do with some of the mech techs in the previous lines. So there's no actual locking mechanism at all on there. So if you see, you just pull the little lever and it extends, LED lights up, but there's no ability to lock it into position. He's also got a sword which is much smaller than the version from the first edition. It's also held in the hand like an ordinary sword rather than being an extension of the arm, as we've seen with sort of Primes ever since Michael Bay's first shot with the sword arm. It's got some of the details from the movie in there, but really it's not quite the same. Okay, he's got shoulder articulation, he's got elbows, knees, he's got thigh swivels, he has no waist swivel, and as I say, that backpack area there is causing me a bit of a headache. Looking at the back there, you can actually see it's just one huge solid plate of plastic that really I would have liked to have seen them deal with that better, more like they did on the first edition. I don't have the first edition yet, but I will be on the hunt for one to see exactly how these two compare. Hopefully this review will help those who've got the first edition to judge against this one. Onto the vehicle mode now. As you can see, it makes a good semi-truck. He has 6 wheels, each roll quite freely on the ground, and the windows are the genuine windows from the chest of the robot, which I like. The weapons store on the back, not in a convincing way, but the main weapon plugs into the sword and the sword plugs into the trailer hitch. So we'll get rid of those. Trailer hitch being made up of the sides of the feet. So yeah, fairly true to the cartoon or 3D rendering from the TV series. Fairly simplistic design, missing the flames, etc. It's got none of the seams problems that has been reported on the first edition, on where there was some gapping between panel lines. It all clicks together really, really snugly. The only real problem is where the side of the windscreen doesn't quite match up properly with the rest of the truck. I'm also not keen on the fact that it's painted silver there. The shins fold away inside the back of the truck there. You can see they fold in underneath. And there on the side you can see where I'm on about the side of the windscreen being silver. Little comparison now for people wanting an idea of scale. As I said, I don't have the first edition Prime. The only other Prime I have kicking around is a Buster Optimus Prime from the movie. So a quick size comparison next to those, looking quite snazzy with the chrome and the flames. So getting an idea there of the scale comparisons. So there we go. Again, just a close-up. You can see how that panel lines just tighten up quite nicely. Really disappear away. Very well. Grille at the front, not painted silver, even though there is some stuff that's been painted silver. Shame about that, really. Same with the smokestacks. Another panel line there, just needs closing up. Click. There we go. So yeah, you'll get to see there, there's a huge gap. It looks like it should go round another few degrees, and doesn't, unfortunately. Got painted headlights and a tamper-graphed Autobot symbol. If I can get that in focus. There we go. And yeah, I mean, it's simplistic, it's chunky, it's very much keeping with the aesthetic of the Prime cartoon. So let's crack the legs, breaking those down, and those shin panels can fold down. This reminds me of Masterpiece 10 a little bit, how the shins appear from somewhere. Feet fold out from the inside. They're actually the trailer hitch halves. But they come down, and again, unlike the first edition, they're just feet on their own. They haven't got sort of the red part of the roof, so I think that actually looks neater on this than on the first edition version of Prime. Okay, pulling down the sides of the truck, and these are the bits that make that awful backpack, in my opinion. Good tug unclips the roof panels. These will be the shoulder pads. And you can see here how the actual windscreen is the genuine chest, and how those swivel to change position, which I think is quite a nice idea. Unclipping the grille. Prising apart the panels from the forearms, which are the truck front. Rotate those out of the way. Okay, you can see his hands at the front of his forearms there. Now if we just separate the truck roof, and then these little blade type attachments, they swivel around and cover the peg on that side and the hole on that side, so when he's in robot mode you don't actually see how those two halves clip together, which is a neat little detail they needn't have done. A double swivel brings the shoulders out to the side, a little bit more width. And now we've got to pivot the windows. No, let's move these elbows out of the way actually. We'll just bend the forearms, and then turning the robot upside down, or the right way up in actual fact for the robot. Pivoting the grille away, which has the head attached. And now the windscreen is actually on this hinge that goes through the centre of the body. That clips in. And just freeing these arm panels out of the way a little bit, they just can catch. And clicking into place. There we go. Now his arms actually remind me of Scourge from the Generations line, and that you rotate them upside down and rotate panels around. It's rather like those cylindrical panels that were done on the Generations Scourge there. Fists slipping into place. Swivel these panels in, and they click in with quite a nice sturdy click, just snapping into place. There we go. And then with a bit of massaging for these back panels to get them out of the way as much as you humanly can. As I say, it's quite unfortunate really that the backpack is as large as it is, and really I feel that's quite unnecessary. I say no waist articulation, which again is strange because I don't see any particular reason why it couldn't have had it. And here we again, just showing off this fact that they are the real windscreens and that they swivel back to form the chest panels. Almost an opportunity for some light piping or something there, but it doesn't actually do it. But there are some nice details in those window panels, which I'll perhaps show you in a moment. Okay, let's just get into stand. His ankles are a little bit limited, which does actually affect some of the more dynamic poses you can have. He's got thigh swivels, as I mentioned, no waist swivel. And then coming in now, looking at the head, apologies for the shaky camera work here. You can see it's got a nice head sculpt that again is very accurate to the show. coming down and looking at those chest panel details, are just absolutely beautiful in there. They've really spent time, needn't have done it, and yet just that extra little effort. It's a shame really that the forearms have that translucent plastic. Not really a fan of that at all. So that concludes my brief review of Transformers Prime, Voyager, Optimus Prime. Hope you found that useful. I'm hoping to pick up Megatron next week, but I see there's been some reviews of him already. So I hope that's useful. I'd say definitely pick this guy up, but I'm also going to keep an eye out for the first edition version. Hope that's helped. See you again soon.